This is Master Within, and you're watching the Master Within online show. Please wait while we begin the session in a few more minutes. Till then, sit back and relax. Thank you.
Pranam to my master, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, Joy Guru, and good evening to all our viewers. I, Orko Prabhu Chatterjee, welcome you on the Master Within show. We all know that our strength lies in the unity, and on this auspicious day of Dol Purnima, we are going to discuss on the concept of universal brotherhood. Today we are going to talk about universal brotherhood. Now, we all know that charity begins at home. So, to unify the humankind, we must start from the family. We must start from ourselves. And in these desperate times, unifying the humankind, I think, is the only measure that we can take. Without wasting any more time, I would like to introduce the Master Within members and to start our discussion. And now I'm going to introduce Shottabrata. He is going to start the discussion on the concept of universal brotherhood. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru, a very good evening to all our viewers. Pranam to at the feet of my master, Sri Thakur. Pranam to everyone, all my members who have joined me today here in the live discussion. And very good evening to all our live viewers. So, before I start the concept of brotherhood, as today is Dol Purnima, this is a beautiful occasion, an auspicious day to understand how humanity would have, started from its roots. Because if you look at the word brotherhood, then I'd like to read out the dictionary meaning of the word brotherhood, which says the quality or state of being brothers, fellowship, and association for a particular purpose, the whole body of persons engaged in a business or profession. But before we do that, we need to understand how did humanity start? Where is this origin? Where is the concept of brotherhood originating from? And to do that, we need to go back in history. We need to go back millions of years where humans were there as hunter-gatherers. Human society had not formed. Humans were there as hunter-gatherers looking for food. There were only maybe a small group of humans who were there here and there, scattered throughout the world in small groups. Now, each of these small groups had a shared interest. The interest was to live and was to grow. Because now, if I am there alone in the wild, I cannot survive on my own. But if I am there as a family, or maybe I am there as a small group, then I can think of ways in which I can, collect food, help in each other's survival, help in each other to grow. And in this way, down the ages, the concept of brotherhood would have originated from the philosophical concept of existentialism, which is life and growth. Therefore, I believe that to look at the concept of brotherhood, we need to look at the concept of brotherhood from the angle of existence and from the angle of life and growth. With this, I would like my other participants to join this discussion and we shall take it forward. Hello, am I audible?
Oh, yes, Dada, you are. So now I am going to introduce Rohanda. He will take this discussion further. Uh, yes, Rohanda.
Jai Guru, salutation to my supreme beloved, and Jai Guru to all the viewers, especially the Master Within members that we are present here. So, as we all know, that today is Dol Yatra, Dol Purnima, and as Satyabrat Bhai said, it's an extremely perfect occasion to understand what we are discussing today. That is the concept of universal brotherhood. Okay, so he has already started very nicely, and I believe that the start is done properly. So I would just like to say a few things, and then I would like other members like Shavik to actually add up his valuable points. So as I was looking in the internet about brotherhood, as Satyavrat Bhai also said, that it means a feeling of great friendship and understanding between people, or an organization in which is formed for a particular, often religious purpose, like that. So, what's the importance of brotherhood? First of all, when we say the concept of universal brotherhood, we should actually first think, break down the sentence into small parts, and focus on the word brother. How important a brother is, and what happens when we have a brother in our life. So basically, it's a very deep yet very simple thing to understand. It's like we get a direction in life, and at every moment, a big brother is like a father, and a father is like an ideal in the life. That's the most simplest form of definition that I would say. And the concept of brotherhood, as he said, that in the previous times, in the in the hunter during the hunter origins, during the hunters, at that time, when the early man came on earth, that the first form of humans on life on earth. So there was nothing like brother sister thing. It was all very natural. Those things were natural. It's like a bond that was built so as to understand more and more people. The people gathered at that time for hunting, for survival. So again, the focus word here becomes survival. So as our master says, the Bacha Vada Dharma. So for that purpose, the concept of brotherhood becomes an extremely important factor. Okay, down the line, if we move ahead, we have a lot of ideas to talk about. If we go down to the ages of Gurukul, the concept of brotherhood started more. Uh, in Christianity, in Christian crusade, a lot of things are there that we have to discuss today. I would like now Shavik to actually come ahead and take this ahead so that we can make it a more interactive session as we all do every time. Yes.
Yes, thank you very much, Rohanda and Orkoda and our Shatabrodda. I think I'm perfectly audible, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So, as far as I have understood by the discussions, before that, I would like to pay my respect and pranam to the lotus feet of my master, as you all know, Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, as he famously known, and to my respected dadas present in the session today. So the topic today is about universal brotherhood. To speak properly, to speak truly, I would say, we don't have that kind of prepared lecture or anything to give here today. But once the term universal brotherhood comes, it almost seems like an utopia to me. People always thinks about these kind of exemplifications, exaggerations of thoughts, of imaginations, of destiny as their goal, lofty goals, but they never reach. There is a inherent tendency for us to think like whenever the Purushottams came, whenever the great ideal or the fulfillers of the age came in the earth, they established a time of peace and tranquility. But if we look at it properly, with proper sense, then the goal has never been reached. Just previous day, I was talking to Reverend Buddha Dadu, Dr. Buddhadev Chakraborty. I was telling him that I think each one of the ideals, each one of the living ideals were a failure because in their lifetime, they have managed to conquer the hearts of a limited amount of people, always, never the whole earth as a whole, isn't it? So, in terms of their mission, they are grand failures. Then he corrected me and said, their mission, the timeline of their mission has never been completed. It is running. It is a series of progression of missions. Like we say, animals have been evolved to become humans, but the evolution has not yet stopped, isn't it? It is still going on. We are in a running phase of evolution, but in this magnanimous timeline, we are such a minute speck that we give too much attention to this little span of time. But in actual, we are in a very minuscule yet an important part of this entire progression. So, to talk on that context, what is the universal brotherhood? They have explained, our respected Dadas have explained very much accurately. I don't have anything to add. But if using the common sense, I would say, what is the brotherhood? The commonality of the brotherhood comes like this. When I say I have a brother, people don't think of some kind of cultural brotherhood. The first thing they think is that he's related by my blood. He's a kin, he's a sibling of mine, isn't it? The first thing that one thinks, like I say, I have two brothers. What would they think? People would think that my parents have three children, me along with my two brothers. So the term brother itself predefines the existence of a similar parent. The term brother itself signifies or predefines the existence of a unitary parenthood, parentage. Like when I say I'm showing this Indian flag, it predefines the existence of a country that I am belonging from, isn't it? Similarly, when I say brotherhood, when I say he's my brother, it predefines we have a similar origin. Similarly, if we look in this fashion, this pre-definition, this landscape of philosophy, or this landscape of mindset must be set at the herald of the institution or organization of this human civilization that we are speaking about. If we want to move with rationality and of course pragnanimity, when we want a similar parentage, it is impossible biologically in these days. So the only way it is possible is through the cultural imprint, the cultural progression. If using the cultural progression, we can have a common parentage, a common father under whom we can serve, under whom we can all be brothers and related together ideologically, then that can be termed as universal brotherhood. And that is the goal, and that is the maxim of or the entire ideology of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam that it depends upon. From the and they were Dadas were talking about evolution. Just think about it. I would strongly suggest everyone who is good or who has a knack to read books. I would ask them to read the book by Yuval Noah Harari named The Sapiens. There, it was wonderfully discussed that what is the difference between the human and other species. One of the most important distinctions is this: one tiger versus one human is a futile match. The tiger would win. But the fight between 100 tigers and 100 humans is a far more different thing. The 100 humans would easily win against thousands of tigers. Why? Because their strength is high? Not at all. Humans had the capability to unite. Human has the capability to use their mind, their psyche, to their own benefit, to their existential benefit. This is the beauty. We have to take those extensions of our mind. We have to take our mind beyond our limits, so that we can access those unknown regions of the brain, of our human capability. That's why we are called sapiens. Sapiens means wise. Then we will be telling that we are wise. And last but not the least, the religion that was established was solely for this purpose. It doesn't matter you are an atheist. It doesn't matter you are an agnostic or a religious shepherd, whatever you are. But this religion concept, the term religion means religare, that means to bind with someone, to bind with a unity. This concept of binding thousands of people together and create a symbiotic relationship, this was at the herald of our human civilization. And this was the beginning of religion. From the ancient times, from the nomadic cultures, this was the beginning of the storytelling. And we have to know how to use this and to show, and being an example, the most practical and pragmatic example in today's time was shown by Sri Thakur himself. He did not act to be a father. He was a cultural father by his own nature, ever since from his childhood. So he is an enigma. He's someone we are inquiring and looking forward to. So that's why he is the master. We are his disciple, so that we can be disciplined in his way of life, becoming the miniature fathers that can lead the society towards universal brotherhood. This is all that I can say for now. This is it, I think.
Wonderfully said by Papai. But I would like to hear from Rohanda that how is he going to relate the concept of brotherhood to the solar system now? Rohanda, are you there?
I think he missed the line.
Sorry, there was a lag in the
Yes.
internet. Can you please repeat the last time? Yeah.
Yes, Rohanda, I would like you to say something about how do you relate between the concept of brotherhood to the solar system now?
Okay. I think it's once again a very relevant example would come up if we can actually say this. Okay. I was reading an article in LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn, we all know it's a very professional platform wherein we, read about a lot of job opportunities, etc. So during the pandemic, unfortunately, a few of my friends faced a very hard time. Okay, and at that time, few of them wrote an article and which was titled "Why is Brotherhood Important for Growth?" or something like that. Okay, so I read that it's brotherhood. Brother is like a father figure. Okay, so considering father as the main core of the family, wherein he becomes an ideal, wherein we understand about the values and how to go ahead in life. A brother is someone who is actually like a father figure. In life, what happens is a brother is the one who actually gives us the experiences, who helps us through the experiences that he has faced. and all the things, ups and downs, good, bads, qualities, values. And those experiences we get from a brother. And that helps us in going ahead in the proper direction. Okay. So there's a version of these conversation, there's a version of this discussion, one that is extremely important that Sovik has already done, and one more version wherein we can actually think about the small instances in life wherein actually the concept of brotherhood plays a very vital role. So as Orkoda, you asked me to tell me something from the solar system. Okay, so let's understand the solar system in a way wherein the sun becomes the center of the family. Okay, solar system indeed is a family, right? Now let's consider all the planets to be the brothers of one another. Okay, let's consider that. Now we are on planet Earth, and we are the third planet on in the solar system. And after Earth, we have Mars, and then we have Jupiter. So one fine day, I was watching YouTube. So we must know. I think I have told him that I watch a lot of videos of these things. Wherein I watched a video of Hubble Space Telescope, the documentary of Hubble Space Telescope on how the mission was done for Hubble Space Telescope. Now, just 1 minute, I will say about this that the mission of the Hubble Space Telescope is, I believe, is the greatest mission that humanity has ever done, or it's the greatest achievement or greatest invention that they have helped us unlock the mystery of the universe. Now, see, so the people at NASA who were into the mission of this Hubble Space Telescope, they worked professionally on the mission, and when the space telescope was launched, there was an error in that. Okay, and then it became a big trouble. Hubble became a trouble. What happened was the lens was not properly adjusted, and even though the space telescope was outside the Earth's atmosphere, it could not capture anything properly. So at that time, the contract was cancelled, and the chief technical designer who was there, who was in charge, he was asked that you will not get any funds to work on this. You need to, you know, work this by your own self and fix by your own self. And that was the moment when the engineers, they considered it as a family. And I heard them, they saying that we as brothers of family, we considered this as a mission of our own, and we worked it like our own baby. We worked it as if it was something of our own. And the the feel of brotherhood and that feel of oneness that they had made Hubble Space Telescope's mission actually successful. I would like to share that thing sometime. I would advise everyone to watch. There in the engineers, they have mentioned that the moment we started feeling that we are as a family and we are all brothers, it became the sense of oneness came into the picture, and that was an extremely important thing that actually helped in the mission. So coming back to the solar system, let's consider each of the planets to be, like a family. Now, one can simply say that what is the use of, other planets? They don't have life. Maybe they had life before some, at some point of time, but right now they don't have life or something like that. But let's not forget that our bigger planets like Jupiter or even Mars, they are helping us unlock the mysteries of the universe or even the mysteries of the solar system. It's like a big brother who is guiding us, who is guiding the earth, the people of the earth, to unlock and to know what was there before. Jupiter is saving us from the asteroid belt. It's like a bigger brother who will saying who is saving us from the rogue asteroids. Similarly, there we have Saturn. The mission of Cassini-Huygens helped us unlock thousands of mysteries of the universe, of the solar system. It's similarly like a brother, a bigger brother, who guides in the life, in the journey of life, who becomes a father figure and helps us know and understand the differences between the good things and the bad things. And then we need to choose the proper thing so that we can go ahead. So that was a very simple example of the solar system. If we can relate the concept of brotherhood and small instances and nuances of life, we can actually understand it very properly. I would like Satyabrata to add a few more points and take this discussion ahead.
So very well explained, Rohanda. As we were talking about success which comes in when we have brotherhood coming into picture, I would like to go into the historical perspective of brotherhood starting from our religion, which is Hinduism. Now, or Sanatan Dharma. Now, in Sanatan Dharma, we have the concept of Gurukul, and we have Chatur ashrams. And the first ashram that any guy who any person who is born has to go through. The second ashram, any person that whoever is born here in Sanatan Dharma has to go through the concept of Gurukul, where the person the kid is sent basically to a guru to learn how to lead life. Now, what comes as an example of the concept of brotherhood, with what comes to my mind is the friendship between Lord Krishna and Sudama. Now, Sudama, if I would like to add a story here. One day, Guru Sandipani, who was the guru of Lord Krishna and Sudama, which makes Lord Krishna and Sudama brothers in the concept of having a common guru or a common ideal. So, or Guru Bhais, Lord Krishna and Sudama were said, Krishna, young Balak Krishna was said, you have to go to the forest and you have to gather certain woods so that you can, if once you gather woods and come back to the ashram, we can proceed further with cooking and other exercises which are there with the ashram. And the Lord Krishna and Sudama were given small two, sort of tiffin of dal. Some dal was there. I don't know what it is called in Hindi, but they were said that if you become late, then what you can do is you can take rest for some time. You are going far into the forest, have some food, get the wood, and come back. Now there was this huge storm, and when this huge storm happened, Sudama and Lord Krishna climbed up a tree, and over there they stayed. However, when Lord Krishna was hungry, Lord Krishna asked Sudama, ki, why don't you give over my tiffin box or whatever I had carried so that you can eat, I can eat, and we can stay together. But then because Sudama was there in a higher branch, what Sudama did was Sudama ate all the tiffin and said to Lord Krishna that, there is no tiffin left, and what is there is everything is eaten. Lord Krishna, who is universal Guru, from whom we can learn the concept of brotherhood, who is the embodiment of love, he said, okay, Guru Bhai, no problem, it's all right. However, I hope that you had your share of the food, and I hope you are satiated. You are not hungry. Your hunger is satiated. They came back. When we go down the line, Sudama, Lord Krishna became the king of Dwarka, and Sudama was a poor Brahmin. Sudama's wife, however, one day said, "Ki Lord Krishna is your Guru Bhai. You should go there. You should go to him, and you should tell him about your problems in life." So Sudama came to Krishna. Now Sudama and Krishna are friends. So he's like, but Sudama still prays to Krishna as the universal, as the highest form of godhood. So Sudama goes to Krishna, but he does not say what he goes through, but rather he says that I am all fine. However, Krishna, as a brother, no, let us not think of Krishna as a law, as God, as the highest form of godhood. Rather, we should think of Krishna as Guru Bhai. As a Guru Bhai, Lord Krishna, because he is himself fulfilled at the best, he could know what Sudama is going through, and he helped Sudama to come out of his poverty. Another thing which comes into my mind when we talk about brotherhood is the story of Mahabharata, where there were 100 Kauravas on one side and 5 Pandavas on one side, and they all were Guru Bhais under Guru Drona. Now, if because we are talking about brotherhood from the example of having a common father, or having a common ideal, or having a common goal, when the time for their ceremony, because they had completed their education all the princes came down and they had to showcase what they had learned in front of King Dhritarashtra. So each and every one of them had to introduce themselves. Yudhishthir came forward. He said, "I am Panduputra, Shreshth Panduputra. Yudhishthir, I am the eldest son of Pandu." And similarly, Bhim came. Similarly, Duryodhan came. Duryodhan came. He said, I am the eldest son of King Dhritarashtra, the great King Dhritarashtra. My mata is Gandhari, and so and so." However, Arjun came. Arjun did not introduce himself as the son of so and so or as the brother of so and so. He said, "I am Dron Shishya Arjun." Now, when Dhritarashtra said, why are you only Dron Shishya Arjun? Don't you have any other identity to yourself? Arjun then said, my identity in my life is the identity of the person from whom I am identified. And what I am identified is the goal of my life, or maybe the center of my life, or maybe my father figure, or maybe my Gurudev. And over there, Arjuna established the concept of unicentricity within brotherhood. Now, when we talk about brotherhood, if there is no concept of unicentricity within brotherhood, for example, if you look at a fan, if you all look up and look at a fan, now our fan has three blades. Now each blade is run by a common center. Now, if as Rohanda was saying, if like sun is a common center, unless and until that common center is there in place, the concept of brotherhood fails. Similarly, looking back into the concept of the origins of brotherhood and the period of hunter-gatherers, again the goal is to live. Unless and until the goal is to live and to grow, the concept of brotherhood again fails. Going down the line, we have to look into how Christianity, the concept of brotherhood came within Christianity. Now, within Christianity, again, you had knights, you had Templars who wanted to establish Lord Jesus Christ throughout the earth, Prophet Jesus Christ throughout earth. And again, this concept of having one center or having one ideal came into picture. Everyone had to be. If we are now looking into areas in which you have divided humanity into different religions, Hinduism is there, Christianity is there. Now Christians also want to establish their own religion in the sense that they have a common ideal, Prophet Jesus Christ, and they had to establish their name, establish his name, establish his ideals, which they felt was correct. Again, if you look into Islam, the brotherhood within Islam is very well documented. And one of the things which come into my mind when I talk about brotherhood within Islam is the creation of the Ottoman Empire. We have a series on Netflix going on, Ertugrul, wherein they very in a very divine way establish how there was a sense of brotherhood within Islam. Down the line, as we go down the line, we have Swami Vivekananda in the 19th century proclaiming brothers and sisters of America, establishing, as Swabhigda was saying, establishing the main idea of Sanatan Dharma, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. When we talk about again one family, here our Sri Thakur, our Gurudev, says Bharata Vishwa Hridayini. Bharata Vishwa Hridayini Jnana Garima Garovini. And again, what establishes Bharata Vishwa Hridayini's Ek Tantra? Even within our Ahwani, we speak about Ek, one, the one ideal, one living ideal, or one idea, or one center, or one objective, or the objective of everyone to live and grow. Now, because we as humans are separated by our own thought processes. We are divided in the terms of religion. We are divided in the terms of our nationalities. We are divided in the terms of our objectives. Time to time, as Reverend Dada said, Time to time, people come who we say as Purushottam, as Lord Krishna said, Sambhavam Yuge Yuge. People come, people of, men, women of higher ideals come who are able to, you know, go through, who are able to cross this barrier of boundaries and who are able to unite people across different sects, across different religion, across different ideologies into the common ideology of living and growing together as humans, not only as humans but also as species, also as also as not only looking after ourselves but also as after looking after our Mother Earth. Just to have a sidetrack, as an analogy, the coronavirus happened all of a sudden, and we as humans, we had tried a lot to maybe clean river Ganga, decrease population and so on. But when there was lockdown, a brilliant thing happened. There was devastation all around. That is absolutely correct. But then the most brilliant thing that happened was Earth started healing itself. Dolphins started coming into the channel of Venice, which has never happened. I had parrots. Wherever I stay in the middle of city of Bangalore. I had parrots coming to the tree which is adjacent to my house. So, as humans, when certain ideologies or certain ideals come down to earth to establish the concept of brotherhood in terms of ideologies, we should realize that the concept of brotherhood also extends beyond the concept of growing and living within humanity itself, but to different species as well. For us to live and for us to grow, we need to not only take care of ourselves, take care of our families, take care of our societies, take care of our country, take care of different countries, but also take care of different species who are there who coexist within us. Because we have experiments wherein biologists have done is biologists have introduced, say, for example, a certain kind of animal into a area, and because of the introduction of that kind of animal into that area, a certain kind of biodiversity grows in that area, which helps us in turn in our own survival. So for me, the concept of brotherhood extends beyond us as species, but extends to the idea of existentialism. And the idea of existentialism is not within us, but it is across species. With this, I would like others to participate.
Yes, I think it's very correct said. Yes, sir. Orko, they were saying something.
Yes, I was about to say that Devesda has commented something.
Yes, Sovik, would you like to take this up? Is friendship a better unifying concept than brotherhood? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, myself.
Yes. Let's discuss on this. Is friendship a better unifying concept than brotherhood? Devesh uncle has
It's a good
commented.
question. I think this is a more common way of thinking. Is friendship a better unifying concept than brotherhood? If you ask me,
yeah,
it is the relationship of a friendship in this case is just, he said that it is a wild thought. I would reply by this, that the relationship, the usual friendship that we call, is as wild as this question.
exactly.
Because I think it is like it is the difference between Fevistic and dendrite.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So one sticks too fast and too hard, and another one is like just it is there. And if you keep it for long enough, and if it is deep enough, then only it can attain a strong hold. But of course, there are special cases. But throughout the history, if we take the sample throughout our short life experiences, if we take the sample, the term friendship is more of a physically symbiotic. isn't it? The dependence is more on physical side, the outward side. The internal, the psyche is not that much involved. And as the great philosophers and doctors say, that uh, anything that is psychological is biological. So to bring about the internal changes, to bring about the internal bond, we need something deeper than just the outwardly attachment. We need to go beyond the addiction. We have to go to the attachment level. So
Yes.
if we get the idea of a family, the attraction between the members is automatic, auto initiative. No one has to explain that you have to, yeah, you have to do for your brother, and it comes automatically. But in case of friendship, we have to learn, we have to develop ourselves. So I
Yes.
think, and as Dada, as Shatabuddha wonderfully explained about the fan, it is like the
Yes. Really.
so friendship can happen between the fan and the light as well.
Yeah.
But brotherhood is like the three blades of the fan, having one goal, that is giving us the air, the wind. But
Yeah.
the light and fan, they complement each other. Light and fan
Complementary.
complement each other. So friendship is more like a complementary. The friendship can evolve into brotherhood, but not the otherwise. I think
Yeah.
this is my understanding.
Yes, I believe
What?
that's very correctly said. And the thing that lacks in today's, as you said, the sample, if you look at the sample, okay, that is the understanding or the dedication or sense of oneness. That is what lacks, is what is happening. So, as Satyavrata very properly explained about friendship, sorry, about brotherhood, is that there should be the concept of oneness. I see a comment. Okay, that is gone away. Okay, fine. That was just a compliment. ठीक है, ठीक है. It's maintained whatever oneness is. Okay, we can take this up maybe during the before conclusion. It will take some time. So yes, as I was saying, that the concept of brotherhood is basically, I'll not say nothing, but yes, it is actually focused on the sense of oneness, and the one is the ideal, is what I believe. It's for the ideal, and it should be together. It should work together. Everything should work together as one. Okay. Yeah. So yes, Arkoda, something should.
Yes, Shobik said that a friendship can evolve a friendship can evolve in a brotherhood. Now, how can a friendship evolve in a brotherhood? And now the
I
friends
what I want to
must.
clarify myself. I wanted to
Yes,
say, once something can start as a friendship, that it can evolve into brotherhood. Into
yes,
brotherhood, yes.
yes. So friends must have a common ideal, and they must act according to the wish of the ideal. Then only then the friendship can evolve into a brotherhood, right? So
I have
if the yes, Satyavrata, please.
I have because continuing what Arkoda was saying, I have a very brilliant Vani of Shishi Thakur. Shishi Thakur, because the concept of friendship has come into picture. Now, if I would like to say, if you look at a guitar, now if the strings are loosely attached, then the guitar is not going to play really well. Now the concept of friendship for me and the concept of brotherhood, the more depth there is in a friendship, the more depth there is in the more the chances of them converting into brotherhood is there. It as I was saying, if the guitar strings are loosely attached, you're not they're going to play, but it's not going to be, it's not going to sync well. For things to sync well, there should be tension. There should be love tension, which should be there. There should be sort of, attachment, which should be there. And a Vani of Sri Sri Thakur comes into my mind. Sri Sri Thakur says, "Mot matate ekti hoy, duti loko ishto nishay, chole jodi daksha tale rukbe ketay bhor duniyay." And herein lies the concept of brotherhood, friendship, brotherhood in depth. And moth matate ikti hoy, which means that unless and until you have again in your mind and in your deeds, if you have oneness, And if you are able to work or walk in an effective manner, you are going to be able to do wonderful things. As an analogy, I would like to reflect on Sanghamitra and Mahendra, the son and daughter of Ashok, King Ashok. Those two were responsible for propagating Buddhism within India. And not only they had one father, they also had one ideal, which is Lord Buddha. Now, just to add in, I was reading the article of Reverend Buddhadev Dada. The brotherhood, the concept of brotherhood also comes from the Sanskrit word braj. Rohan Bhai will explain more. Braj, which means common, which means brightness or enlightenment. Now, within brotherhood lies the concept of enlightenment, and I would like to add there, here enlightenment is more related to existentialism, to be able to grow together and to be able to live. That's it.
I would like to add in one thing, that the article that our respected Shottobruddha was speaking about, that article is available in our website, and it's called www.masterwithin.org. If you go to that website, a new article has been added regarding universal brotherhood. It was written by Dr. Buddhadev Chakraborty, and it has been wonderfully translated by Dr. Devesh Patroda. And and it is a wonderful article. I would request everyone to go visit and check out that article. The link has been provided with this video itself. Please go and check it out. In the description, the video is there. The link of the article is there. Please continue.
Yes.
Rahul has commented something. Now
Yes.
we can conclude with that comment.
Yeah, what basically he wanted us to discuss about is in a few scenarios we do see wherein the direction is not proper in brotherhood and some compromises are made. Okay, so what are the necessary actions or steps that we should actually take, or that should be kept in mind, so that it should be an alertness. It should work as an alert so that the direction is proper. So I would like to take this up, and I would also request other members to actually discuss on this. We can take on comments later on when we are discussing. Let's just focus on discussion. So basically, when we say the concept of brotherhood, in the article I was just reading, it's written that my respected father has written, is the word brother bhai has originated from root in Sanskrit, which means bright. And as per the meaning, two persons are brother if they help each other into a process of enlightenment. So that's very correct. So let's just break the sentence down into small points, into sub words, into words, and we can discuss what is actually meant and expected out of it. When we say, when two persons are working for each other in a process of enlightenment, then of course the brother or one of the brothers acts as a father figure or acts the direction to the center, and the center is the ideal, following whom the persons can be enlightened. Okay, and what happens in these days, or a lot of times, is that the aim or the ultimate goal is not getting enlightened, or is not something very positive. That's where the lack of understanding is there. Like, how should we emphasize on the enlightenment thing, or how should we emphasize more on our ideal, and how should we actually work towards going there? That's what lacks in the very cases. So as Rahulda has asked, what should be the maybe steps, or how can people be aware? I think it's very simple, is that we should stick to our goals, and the objective should be very ideal. The objectivity should not be lost, is what I understood. As he says this, that there, in the name of the brotherhood, severe and serious compromises are rampant, which have deep and irreversible impact on our culture, customs, and traditions. So, if this brotherhood is to be maintained, then what type of alertness is there? Very correct. So, let's take an example that we have to reach a destination. And can we please remove the comment now? We are done with that. Okay. We have to reach a destination, and a train we actually wanted to catch a train, but we lost the train. The train is lost. But we are so much aggressive about our destination, and we are so much uh, targeted towards our goal that we uh, take any measure in order to reach the goal. And that measure may be anything. That can also be, hijacking a car, or maybe throwing some person out of the car and taking that car and rash driving that and going to the destination. So that's not the case. That's not what should be done. Okay, if we are reaching the destination and if other things are hampered, then what's the use of reaching such destination? Then what good did we really do in the journey of reaching our destination, or in journey of enlightenment, if we see? Similarly, in the journey of our following our ideal, and in the journey of life wherein we actually work for ideal, if we are not focusing on the strings that are attached to the center, that is our culture, heritage, and all the important things, then reaching the goal is not fruitful, or reaching there is just not fruitful. So the awareness is nothing, is just a balance that should be made in all ways, a balance that will not affect other things like our cultures and traditions when we actually reach the goals. This was a very simple and short explanation from my end. If I would request others to quickly add a few points on this, and then we may conclude. Okay.
I would add just one concluding Vani of Sri Sri Thakur. The Vani says, "एक आदेश चले जा रहा तादेड़ में ये समाज काढ़ा." Unless and until you have one common ideal, one common idea of living and growing together, and one common center, and if there is no and there is no unicentricity,
Yes.
I don't think the world can move ahead, and the world will keep on being segregated into into groups on the basis of many different things.
Yes.
And proper growth can only happen if there is unicentricity and attachment, and only cohesion within a group. And cohesion within a group only can happen when there is a center within the group.
Exactly. And that is possible when we actually, the concept of brotherhood is there, wherein the two brothers work together in reaching the oneness, for the oneness, right? And of course, also balancing the other small factors so that the things are not hampered, so that the other things are not hampered. Yes.
So today we came to a conclusion that we must find one ideal and we must follow the ideology. Now, to understand the ideology in from every perspective of our life, we must have some literature. We must have some videos and audios to understand the ideology from every perspective. Now, to enjoy those literature, we have a store, online store, which is masterwithinstore.com. We have several books there, and we request you to visit the store and visit, as well as visit our official website masterwithin.org, masterwithin.org, to understand the ideology of Sri Thakur from every perspective. And that is all I need to say about today's topic.
Yes.
Do you have
Yes.
any other thing to add, Babai?
Yes.
I have nothing to add, but I can just conclude this session. I mean, it is concluded. Fine. I would like to read a small Bani from Sri Thakur's message.
Yes.
Yes, the Bani almost answers that question that was asked by Devizda. It says, sincere enchanting, welling up of the heart, due to attachment for one, can inundate millions of souls with charming exuberance. Sincere enchanting, welling up of the heart, due to attachment for one, can inundate millions of souls with charming exuberance. So the key word here is the sincere attachment, and the sincere attachment is only possible when our minds, words, and deeds agree with each other, fulfill each other, as in front of every book of Sri Thakur, he says that that আমার কথাগুলি যদি শুধু তোমার কথা ও চিন্তারই খোরাক মাত্র হয়, আচরণের ভিতর দিয়ে বাস্তবে সেগুলি ফুটিয়েই তুলতে না পারো, তবে পাওয়া যে তোমার তমসাচ্ছন্নই রয়ে যাবে। That if the words that I speak, the maxims that I preach, whatever I show with my character, if they are not fulfilled and they are not expressed by your deeds, only they become object of your veneration and object of your talk and discussion, then whatever you will get will be like the cloudy mess, and it will be a foggy perception, and you won't be get the true rain that you are wanting out of it, true water. So
Yes.
I would see, and I think it slightly answers the question that was a little bit counterintuitive for this kind of sessions asked by Sajolenduda regarding brotherhood and satsang, etc. So how, no matter what we do, we must think that it is, I'm not lecturing here, it is whatever Sri Thakur had said. I'm just reiterating that if unless we apply that in our own life, and unless that is formed and from both the sides, whichever side we think we are in, unless we show the character of Sri Thakur in our own form. When Sri Thakur first came and preached his philosophy, his ideology of love and brotherhood in the entire Himayatpur, so many people came against him, so many people. And that time Sri Thakur said, and he proved that when Kishori Mohan Das, Ananta Maharaj and many others became united under the love of Sri Thakur, and they became like that, মত মাথাতে একটি হয়ে দুটি লোক ইষ্ট নেশায় চলে যদি দক্ষতালে রূপবে গে তার ভর দুনিয়ায়, as said by Shottobruddha. Even if two persons under the love and admiration for Sri Thakur and fulfilling and serving him, if we come under one banner, then it will shake the whole world. It will shake not like that the two person will be enough to change the whole world. It is not like that. The two person can become the incentive. The two person can become the catalyst for thousands and millions to follow the same flame, because fire once shared only increases. It is not like the water. When we share water, the water reduces. When we share fire, it blazes and increases. And in true sense, this is the reincarnation that Sri Thakur speaks about. That the reincarnation happens of Lord, the ideal, happens when millions of souls under the divine aspiration and love for their Supreme Father come together as one. And this is the Holy Spirit that is talked about by Lord Jesus. This is the Atma. Atma, the term, we think that something gaseous goes out of our body. Sri Thakur said, Je Shottaye Shokol Shotta Shottayeman Atta take bole. Unless all kind of Shotta, all kind of beings come together in this path, that thing is utopia and can't be achieved. So I pray to the Supreme Father deeply so that we can be able to achieve that kind of goal, and we can experience the bliss that he has been kept in store for us. Thank you. Jai Guru.
Just one last thing, I would like to request all the members to subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest videos that would be coming up very soon on regular intervals, which will actually keep you awake in life and will definitely help you in a lot of ways. That we have a lot of things in the store coming up for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this among your friends, spread the love of brotherhood among all your friends so that we actually have one ideal and we follow that properly. And of course, as mentioned by other members, do check out the Master Within store and of course the Master Within website for latest articles and updates about everything that will help you in life in a lot of ways. That's all, I think. I wish you a very happy Holi to all the viewers, and Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Adorations to the fulfiller, the best. Vande Purushottam.
Vande Purushottam.